Hi, I'm Rachel Scholes.
I'm the Deputy Editor on magazine and I write all about motorhomes, and I'm here, obviously, if you haven't guessed already, to talk about e-bikes. We've got a couple of bikes in from Tenways, but first I wanted to talk about weight. E-bikes are really popular for motorhomers these days. They help you go that bit further. They help you sort of tackle hills or slightly more undulations if you're not prepared to, if your legs just aren't up to it like they used to be. However, they do have a big downside, and that is that they are heavier than the standard bike. And there's a couple of points to that. So first of all, you've got to decide where you want to put your e-bike. So if you've got a garage, then you can easily stash away a bike inside, but make sure it is tall enough to fit those bikes in. Otherwise, you're going to have to start removing the wheels. These ones have quick release mechanisms, so you can quickly do that, but it does offer that extra bit of faff. So we generally tell people to measure this height here and measure the aperture height, the garage height itself. The aperture height is really important. The other option is a bike rack. So this is a big problem recently because we've done a bit of research. We found out that while bike racks potentially on paper are capable of taking e-bikes, the mounting points they're fitted to may not be. So many coach-built motorhomes with pre-fitted mounting points are rated at 50 kilos. Say the weight of an average bike rack is 10 or 11 kilos. That 10 or 11 kilos counts as part of that 50 kilo loading. So that means you've only just got under maybe about 35 kilos with straps and locks and things like that, about 35 kilos left to play with, 35 to 40. That's not a huge amount. And that obviously, quite a lot of e-bikes weigh upwards of 20 kilos these days. So that will not cover you for most rear-mounted bike racks. I'd say this one's 23 kilos, but obviously you take the accessories, the pannier, the mud guards and pedals and things like that, and that battery off, you could get that down to 18 kilos. But let me talk to you about this one first. This is the CGO 600 Pro. It's very light. Price-wise, you can get light e-bikes, but they're often very expensive. So price-wise, this is great price to weight ratio. So this is an 18 kilo listed weight, but as I say, take that battery off, and I've weighed that battery and it's 2.1 kilos. So if you take that battery off, let's do it now, that instantly makes it a huge amount lighter. So let's just put that on the floor. And this also, that's not just about making that bike lighter for weight wise, that's lighter for loading as well. So it just makes it so much easier. It's actually a very neat thing. As I say, here's the battery. It's built into the frame. It's lockable, so you can take the key off, but I'd suggest, if you can, I'd always store the battery elsewhere for security and for ease of loading it and unloading it. This battery is a 360 watt hour battery. Don't really understand what that means, but I do know they quote it'll give you around a 62 mile range, depending on how much you use it, obviously. So, both these bikes from Tenways are single speed, belt drive gears. So what that means is they're not oily at all. So you're not going to get oil on your clothes, and if you do need to make some emergency roadside repairs, you're not going to get mucky fingers. It's a hub motor, it's in the rear wheel, and it's got a torque sensor that allows you to powers the speed that the assistance is giving you. So that senses there, and that'll deliver the power to the wheels, to the motor, in accordance with how fast you're pedaling and how much speed assistance you want to give it. The front wheel has a quick release mechanism, so you can, if you do have that limit on that storage height in your garage, you can release that. And I built both of these bikes from the box, so I do know that they are fairly easy to put together, but that's a neat little thing. This particular model has an integrated LED front light. It's actually very bright, and then you fix reflectors and rear lights to the rear thing. And then on the handlebar, you've got a fairly small display, but it does everything you need to do. It shows you the speed and the range left, and you can have a walking pace. So should you find a hill that this single speed gear won't tackle and you just can't power yourself up it, you just click the walking speed button and it'll help you walk the bike up the hill, which is a really neat feature. You can also control this front light from the power button. It's controlled here, so that you don't have to switch it on. You can just switch it on and off at will, which is neat. This is Tenways 800S model. Obviously a bit bigger, a bit heavier. The battery itself is bigger, but again, it quotes a 100 kilometres or a 60 odd mile range. It can be removed. However, this one has a neat feature because it has a much bigger screen, and using the Tenways app, you can feed your sat-nav information through to the screen. So if you're on a particularly tricky ride or you have a ride app, you can use it to talk to your phone, so you can see the sat-nav directions on there, which is neat. Same thing, it has handlebar controls, just a tiny little bell. The front light is mounted here, that you have to fit, but the rear light is part of the pannier, and actually I think this one has turn indicators. The pannier is part of the standard, as is the footstand. They're very good, these footstands, they're pretty stable. And this one also has front suspension forks, just to give you that bit of extra comfort. It is probably more of a cruiser rather than a mountain bike thing, but that step through design will suit quite a few people, as opposed to the mountain bike style, the crossbar style of the 600 Pro. What's also really lovely actually is the instructions manuals. So they're fully illustrated, they're really good quality, and they're quite easy to follow. You get the whole how to assemble a bike, remove the front wheel, etc, etc. I did cop up on a few things, that probably was because I wasn't reading the instructions correctly. And then how to install the reflectors and adjust the handle seat, and then also a full walkthrough of the display operations. It's actually really handy, really clear to read, and really simple. They do say it's the little things that please people in life, and I've got to say, I kind of agree, because in the kit of both the 600 Pro and the 800S, you get this tiddy little tyre pump. I love it. It extends out, that's the pump bit, and then you flip this lid off and then unscrew the pipe and the pipe comes out. So all you do, fix that in place and then start pumping. I did let this tyre go a bit flat, so this is necessary, it's not just for camera. And then when you're done, simply take that off, pop it back in, fix it back together, and that'll store in your rucksack. So you're ready for a flat tyre and your day's out. Don't forget to like and subscribe our videos. You know, there's plenty of other useful content, including motorhome reviews, lots and lots of motorhome reviews. So stay tuned for more.